This is a major update on the Fatinoye murder case, the Ogun State family that was brutally murdered on New Year's night, January 1, 2023, and their house set ablaze with a couple in them, burnt beyond recognition. And if you also remember, their son, as well as a domestic worker who some people also say was a relative, were abducted at the same time, only for the son to be found dead, drowned in a river, but the domestic worker was found alive, surviving the abduction. So it turned out that the police all this while had a suspect in custody. A man by the name of Lekon Adekambi is named to be the person of interest in the assassination of the Fatinoye family. Lekon happens to be the driver, the personal driver of the family, and he was the one that the police had picked up when they had come to investigate the situation. At the time we heard the news that the police had someone in their custody, they did not give us the details or the picture or the name of whoever they had. Many people thought it was a neighbor, some thought it was the gate man, some eventually thought it was the family friend or the relative or the domestic worker that survived the abduction. But all this while, it was their driver. And for what is worth, the only reason we are learning about this information now is because Lekon has escaped from the police custody in a very tricky and unusual way that is having a lot of people talk and has put a lot of police officers regarding this case in trouble. But the details surrounding how Lekon or what led to Lekon running away is what is blowing a lot of people's mind. So Lekon had been in the police custody. It wasn't stated that he was a prime suspect. He was only a person of interest. He was just in their custody answering questions. This was even when it was announced that the kids and the two boys had been abducted. However, when it was now later discovered that one of the boys had been found alive and rescued by villagers, and the news got to Lekon that, okay, the other domestic staff has been found alive, the officers said that Lekon started acting uneasy. At the news that the domestic staff, the other boy, was found alive, Lekon began acting out, almost as though he had something to hide. It was around the same period that Lekon suddenly fell ill and claimed that he had a fever and needed to go to the hospital. The police did not really think too deep about this. I guess to them, there had not been any reason to find him as a suspect and hold him down. I'm not very sure, because when they took him to the hospital, he wasn't handcuffed. And it was while he was at the hospital receiving treatment that he escaped. And now they can't find him. A lot of the officers have been fired, some have been transferred, and it's just a whole mess there, because this man in question, whose family had been wiped out, used to be an ex-CBN employee. So he is a big shot. He lived in an estate where the former governor of Ogun State lives in. So this is a secured estate with notable people. And for you to have a suspect who most likely killed this man and his entire family, and you just let him out like that with no handcuff, of course, a lot of these police officers are going to suffer for it. But the question a lot of people are wondering is, why was Lekon suddenly uneasy when he learned that the domestic staff did not die and he was found alive? Why did he suddenly start to feel weird? Why did he suddenly start to act like there was something up with him? Maybe because there was something up with him. Maybe because he did have a hand in this. Him running away, some people could interpret that maybe he's scared that they will pin it on him. That is one way to look at it, seeing that he's a driver and he does not have the resources. Of course, when a high-profile man like the Fatinoyes lose their life, they tend to want to find somebody to punish. And often at times, the innocent are the ones who gets punished. And I can understand if that is the reason why he is escaping. But for the fact that is being said that it was when he learned that the domestic staff was found alive that he started acting out is enough reason to believe that he knows more than he may have said. Of course, he did not act alone. Or is it possible that he and the domestic staff were the ones behind it? And seeing that the police had seen the domestic staff, they are worried that the domestic staff would be the one to confess his name. Because let me say this for a fact, if that domestic staff was a victim truly and he knew the people who did the whole attack and kidnapped them and set the house on fire, I think he would instantly, immediately, quickly mention Lekon's name. Like, oh, I remember his face, Lekon. And that would probably make the police lock him up faster. But within this window of delay, there is a chance or there is a possibility that the reason why he was uneasy is because maybe the both of them had it planned and the plan did not work out, or maybe it was not in their plan for the domestic worker to be caught or found. Maybe he was supposed to run away or go somewhere after he had probably killed the son, tied him up, because remember, he was the only one that was not tied. The Fatinoye's son was tied hands and leg and thrown in the river, and that was why he couldn't swim. But he, who was also abducted with him, was not tied, and that was how he kind of survived, unless he was the one behind it, obviously, because we still don't know. Another insight again that people are bringing up is the possibility that Lekon may have bribed the policemen into doing this. This is not the first time we are seeing something happen like this. This is not the first time people are getting out of police custody. And half the time when people do this is because they have had enough money to bribe their way out of it. I mean, when you think of bribery and corruption, you sort of think of Nigerian police. And if Lekon had successfully killed the Fatinoye family and burning down the house, there's a chance that he may have enough money to be able to bribe these policemen into taking him to the hospital so that he can get away and so that they can claim that that was how he got away. Because let's face it, it's sort of a careless move for the policemen to take their person of interest to a hospital for fever, for just fever, for headaches. It's not like he was trained up. It's not like he had a very bad injury. It's not like he had an accident. So suddenly your suspect in your custody complains of fever. You now take him to a hospital without monitoring him, giving him all the chance and avenue to run away. There is something kind of suspicious about it. And I think I agree with a lot of people who feel that maybe the policemen may have had a hand in it. Maybe they've been bribed. Maybe they've been bought. Because now this driver, if indeed he had done this to the Fatinoye, might now have enough money to get his way out. But before we go, you guys let me know what you think about this case. Do you think Lekon will be found? Or do you think this is a lost cause? And also, do you think he had a hand in what happened to the family of the Fatinoye? Or is he just scared that they might pin it on him, even though or if he knew nothing about it? What is not clear is if he was picked up in the compound. There's a chance that he was in his house when they picked him up, because he was most likely the one who drove them all the way from church back home. That is something I think the security people in the estate where they lived would notice or know, because those are the people who would know us and see these things. So maybe them seeing him drive away with the son might look normal to them because that's his job. Of course, maybe this is the possibility that he had his hand in this thing is sort of high, but we would not know. So that's why we just have to wait and see how this unfolds. So hopefully we get more information as quick as we can. Until then, stay subscribed, stay following, and let me know what you think. Thank you guys for watching.